Ready for a deep dive into a story you might not expect? We're looking at Burkina Faso today.
Burkina Faso.
Yeah, a nation that often gets overlooked when we talk about economics, but it could be on the verge of becoming a real industrial hub in West Africa.
An industrial hub. That's ambitious.
Ambitious, but maybe not so far-fetched. There have been some interesting developments lately.
Oh, like what?
Well, President Ibrahim Traoré of Burkina Faso recently met with Binker Nash.
Okay, I know that name. Banker Nash, the CEO of Bethio Industry and Engineering Solutions.
Right, and this is where it gets interesting. Bethio is an Ethiopian company.
Ah, I see where you're going with this.
And Ethiopia has seen some incredible industrial growth over the past few years.
Yeah, they've really transformed their economy, so Bethio is helping Burkina Faso do the same.
That's the idea. They're sharing their blueprint for success.
Yeah.
Kind of a rising tide lifts all boats situation.
That's incredible. I mean, for Ethiopia to share their knowledge like that, it's a real testament to African solidarity.
It really is. So what exactly did Ethiopia do that Burkina Faso might be looking to replicate? What's its blueprint all about?
Well, they focused on two main things: vocational training and strategic investment in their own industrial capacity.
So investing in their people and their own industries.
Exactly. They didn't just rely on outside help. They built up their own workforce and their own production capabilities. For instance, they trained thousands of young people in specific skills.
Okay, like what kind of skills?
Things like textile manufacturing and leatherworking. They turned these young people into highly skilled workers.
And that boosted their economy.
Yeah, they were able to produce high-quality goods and start exporting them all over the world. It really put Ethiopia on the map.
That's amazing. It sounds like they really emphasize practical skills, not just theory.
Absolutely. It was all about giving people the tools they needed to succeed in the real world.
So how does Bethio fit into all of this? Where do they come in?
Well, they're taking a hands-on approach.
What do you mean?
They're setting up vocational training centers right in Burkina Faso.
Wow. So they're not just giving advice from afar, they're really getting involved on the ground.
Right. And they're specifically targeting the youth, which is really smart.
Yeah, investing in the future generation makes a lot of sense. But what kind of training are they offering?
Well, they're focusing on areas that are critical for Burkina Faso's development, like machine manufacturing and producing agricultural equipment.
Those are areas where Burkina Faso currently relies heavily on imports, right?
Exactly. So the idea is that if they can start producing this equipment themselves, they'll save a lot of money.
And create jobs in the process.
Right. It's a win-win situation.
But let's not forget the human element here. What does this mean for the average young person in Burkina Faso?
I think it's a game changer for them.
How so?
Well, imagine a young person who might not have had a lot of opportunities before. Now they have access to world-class training in these cutting-edge fields.
Like learning how to operate advanced machinery or design engineering solutions.
Exactly. Those are skills that can lead to well-paying jobs and a real chance to contribute to their community.
It's like a ripple effect, right? Empower the youth, and they'll empower the entire economy.
Exactly. And it's not just about economics, it's about giving them a sense of purpose and hope for the future. But of course, there are bound to be challenges along the way, right? I mean,
Right.
This is a massive undertaking.
No journey is without its bumps in the road. What kind of challenges do you think Burkina Faso might face?
Well, Ethiopia faced its own set of challenges, and Burkina Faso can probably learn from their experience.
Yeah, it's like having a roadmap to guide them. What were some of the hurdles Ethiopia had to overcome?
Funding was a big one,
Of course, these things always cost money.
right? Building training centers, getting equipment, and attracting good instructors, it all adds up.
So how did they manage to fund it?
They got creative. Public-private partnerships were a big part of it.
So working with businesses.
Yeah, they brought in foreign investment too and encouraged local businesses to invest in training.
Makes sense. Everyone benefits in the long run.
Exactly. But funding wasn't the only challenge.
What else?
Well, to have a thriving industrial sector, you need good infrastructure.
Roads, power, transportation.
All of that. Ethiopia invested heavily in upgrading their roads, building new power plants, and making sure their supply chains were efficient.
So creating an environment where businesses could flourish.
Exactly. And those are all lessons Burkina Faso can learn from.
It sounds like Ethiopia's experience provides a valuable blueprint, not just for technical skills, but for the whole ecosystem that supports industrial growth. But how would this partnership actually impact businesses in Burkina Faso? What kind of tangible changes could we see on the ground?
Think about it like this. Lots of businesses in Burkina Faso right now. They struggle because they have to rely on imports.
Yeah, expensive import.
And it's not just the price tag. You've got shipping costs, import duties, delays. It really adds up.
Right, makes it tough to compete.
Exactly. But now imagine this. That same business owner, instead of importing, can buy a locally made machine.
Made by folks trained through the Bethio program.
Right. The cost would be lower, delivery faster. They'd even have local support for repairs.
That's huge for a small business.
It's a game changer. Lets them expand, hire more people, put more money back into the local economy.
It's a win-win all around.
And think bigger. As more businesses access this affordable equipment, entire industries could take off.
We're talking increased exports, a more diverse economy.
Exactly. A more prosperous future for the whole country.
This is really exciting stuff. But we've been talking about Burkina Faso internally. What about globally? Where does this put them on the world stage?
Oh, that's a great point. With this local manufacturing boost, Burkina Faso could become a regional hub.
For certain industries.
Right. They could attract investment and trade from neighboring countries, become a real player in West Africa.
Even start exporting to international markets.
Exactly. From overlooked to economic powerhouse. It's amazing what a little collaboration can do.
It really is. Speaking of collaboration, there's another piece to this puzzle, right?
Are you thinking digital?
Exactly. I've heard about this app, Avalinks.
A free business directory lists companies locally and globally.
Yeah, seems perfect for a situation like this.
Imagine it. Businesses in Burkina Faso connecting with each other, finding new suppliers, customers, even potential partners.
It's like a supercharged local marketplace, but with global reach.
And that's not all. Avalinks also connects them with international players, investors, customers abroad.
Opens up a whole world of possibilities. Exports, foreign investment, new partnerships.
And let's not forget the human element at the heart of it all. Imagine that young entrepreneur.
With a great idea, but maybe they lack resources or connections.
Exactly. But now they've got skills from Bethio, a global network from Avalinks. The sky's the limit.
They can compete on a level playing field, build a thriving business.
And contribute to this amazing transformation. It's incredibly inspiring.
Speaking of inspiring, I want to touch on something we mentioned earlier. This partnership's significance for the whole continent.
It sends a powerful message, doesn't it?
About self-reliance.
Yeah, for too long, the focus has been on aid from outside. This shows what Africa can do when they support each other. Share knowledge, resources, expertise.
It's like saying, we can do this ourselves.
Exactly. And that's a powerful message not just for Africa, but for the whole world.
Burkina Faso is really leading the way. This is about more than just economics, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
It's about reclaiming the narrative, showing what's possible when we invest in human potential.
Absolutely. This partnership is about innovation, collaboration. It's about building a brighter future for Burkina Faso and for all of Africa.
And this is just the beginning. What a story we're witnessing unfold. Before we wrap up, I want to leave our listeners with something to think about.
A final thought.
We've talked about the training, the economic growth, the global potential. But what about the impacts we can't measure?
The human side of it.
Yes. What does this mean for the people of Burkina Faso to see this happening in their own country?
It's about a shift in mindset, a feeling of hope. Like, finally, we're in control of our own destiny.
Yeah, exactly. Tell me more about that. What does it actually feel like for people in Burkina Faso to see this happening?
Imagine, seeing young people from your own community. They're building these machines, they're solving problems, they're part of something big.
Building a future.
It makes you believe anything is possible. Burkina Faso on the world stage, not asking for help, but offering solutions.
It's powerful. Not just numbers on a chart, but real pride.
Dignity, ownership, a whole generation realizing they can dream big.
That's what it's all about. Africa writing its own success story.
And it's just getting started. This deep dive has been fascinating, really eye-opening. I'm walking away feeling incredibly optimistic, not just for Burkina Faso, but for the whole continent.
Me too. Thank you so much for sharing your expertise with us today.
It was my pleasure. I hope this inspires everyone listening to learn more about what's happening in Africa and maybe even think about how they can be a part of it.
It's an exciting time to be following along with this story.
Absolutely. Full of possibilities.
Thanks again for joining us for this deep dive. And to everyone listening, stay curious, and we'll catch you next time.